Today I'm at the classic Los Angeles diner Apple Pan, hoping to gain inspiration for the perfect homemade apple pie.
We're at the Apple Pan. I have been coming here since I was a little kid. My family has been coming here since they opened in the 40s, and nothing has changed. Literally nothing has changed. The steak burger is the same recipe, the apple pie is a recipe from the 1800s, and even the little paper cone cups are exactly the same. I love this place so much because it is so authentic and the flavors are fantastic. You wouldn't think that pie and burger is a natural pairing, but in LA it is. You'll find a lot of the older diners actually have amazing pie recipe that they're known for, as well as a burger recipe. Here at the Apple Pan, it's, as you'd imagine, apple pie. They are all about their apple pie. And I love getting it a la mode. It is decadent, it's rich, it's perfect. My family loves it so much that we even had this as birthday cake. So that's actually what I'm gonna be doing in my kitchen today. I love this pie because it's really flaky, it has a really nice crust to it, and the inside has this really wonderful kind of gooiness. It's really luscious, it's really just delicious as a filling. So I'm gonna be working on getting those textures in my homemade pie. That is so good. One of my top complaints with a lot of apple pie is it tastes way too sweet. It tastes like a lot of sugar and cinnamon. You don't really get the apple coming through. This one, it really tastes like the apple, and I think it has a nice balance of sweetness and acid, so it's definitely something I'm gonna steal for my apple pie recipe.
So the basis of a fantastic pie is a fantastic pie crust. This is a really classic recipe. I'm gonna start with 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm just gonna pulse this together a couple of times. It's just to get everything mixed together. All right, so next goes in the fat. So I have my chilled butter. The reason why you wanna have your fat chilled is because when the butter melts, it creates steam, and the steam creates lift, and that is what creates a beautiful flaky crust. And the cheddar is kind of a secret ingredient. Cheddar might seem like a kind of unusual ingredient for a pie crust, but I felt inspired by the hamburger at the Apple Pan, and I just love what it brings to the pie crust. It adds a little bit of sharpness that's really great against the sweetness of the apple. So I'm going to have my food processor going while I add a little drizzle of ice water. What I'm looking for here is for it to sort of start to become a dough. And you can see it's a dough now. So I do not want to overwork it. If you overwork it, what happens is you end up getting this really chewy texture. You want it to be very tender and flaky. So what I'm going to do now is take out my dough and wrap it in some plastic wrap so they can chill for at least 30 minutes. And because it's an apple pie, this is a double crust. So this is gonna be the bottom, this one's gonna be the top. And there you go. So now we get to move on to the filling. So the first thing I'm gonna do is combine all of my dry ingredients. A 1/2 cup of white sugar, a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of flour, cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, a little bit of kosher salt. So I'm gonna mix this together really lightly. For me, it's really important not to over season it because I wanna taste the apples. I want the cinnamon and clove to be a complement to the apples, but not overshadowing it. So I have about 6 to 7 apples. I'm gonna peel them, core them, and then slice them to about 3/4 of an inch thick. So not too thick, not too thin. I'm just gonna keep breaking these down, and then we're gonna mix everything together. This is where having a really big bowl comes in handy. So I'm gonna mix it together with all of the dry ingredients first, just to get a nice coating. All right, so now I'm gonna do a little bit of vanilla cream. Next, I'm gonna add just a tablespoon of lemon juice. So it adds a little pop of acid, and it just lifts the entire flavor. All right, this looks great. So now I'm gonna get started on rolling out the pie crust. So what I'm gonna do is put my duck flour just on here, and this is gonna make sure it doesn't stick to anything. So I'm looking for it to be about like 1/8 of an inch thick. So once I've sort of rolled it out evenly once, I turn it. So now I'm gonna go the other way. And I'm gonna try to get this as circular as humanly possible. I mean, that kind of looks like an overhead of Antarctica, but it's basically a circle. I'm now going to roll this up on my rolling pin, lift up, and then dun, 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 and there we go. Very nice. And then using my knuckles, I'm pushing it in to fill every gap and every crevice. If there's any tears, don't worry about it. Just fill it in with more pie dough or just press it gently together. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm actually gonna set this aside and do the top half of it. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, roll this out really nice and thin, and then we're gonna put everything together. And so now we're just gonna fill it. So I'm gonna put all the apples inside. There you go. So now on goes the lid. I'm just gonna very carefully roll this out. So I should have a little bit of overhang. I'm gonna take my kitchen scissors and just trim it so that I have about an inch all the way around. And then I'm gonna go through and just kind of roll it to create a really nice watertight seal. Then I'm gonna go through and using 2 fingers, pinch the sides so it looks kind of cute and, you know, like a classic pie. Then I have my egg wash. For the egg wash, I have like just an egg that's been mixed together with a little bit of water, and then I also have some cream. The protein and fat in the egg create this amazing kind of golden brown crust. The cream does the exact same thing. It adds a lot of color to it and that really nice glisten. Next, I'm gonna do just a sprinkle of sugar on top. The last step is I'm gonna add some vents to allow steam to escape. It also means that the liquid has somewhere to go. So as it cooks, it's actually gonna reduce and create that really delicious kind of gooey texture that we're looking for. That looks great. It's really classic, and it looks like the apple pan, which makes me really happy. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven at 375 for about 50 to 60 minutes. The pie is out of the oven. It looks so good. It's really golden brown and beautiful. All right, in we go. This is a very satisfying noise because it means that the pastry is nice and short. Oh my gosh, is it crunchy down there? Is it crispy? Yes, okay, can I show you the bottom of it? It has a perfectly golden brown bottom, so that means that it is flaky town. Everything about this is crunchy, crispy, and perfectly tender. In true apple pan fashion, I feel like apple pie a la mode is a must. Happy scoop right there. All right. That is so good, oh my gosh. Perfectly flaky, it's crisp, it's so delicious. And I love the flavors on the apples because it feels like apple when you're trying it. I hope you guys try making this at home. It's so delicious. I'll see you next time. For more videos like this one, click here. Make sure to subscribe to Food Network's YouTube channel right here. And then please comment below, like the video if you like it. We love hearing from you guys.